I have my friend Michael, on the phone, and Misha is a very interesting fellow. He speaks English fluently, and he knows energy work, I think, as well as anybody. He has the ability to intuit and know health items and delve into other areas of awareness that other people that's not normal. So Misha's been a friend for 20 years, and he's on the phone with us now, and we're going to see, assess where we are, and assess again where we can be, and see what the bridge between those are. So with that with that being said, how much do we have to address our circumstances in order for us and everybody else to know that we know where we are and who we are and why we are. We're here as a very particular expression of life, and that's exactly what we're being. And yet at the same time, that's not what we actually came here to do and be. It's just what we've been doing. And so what we're exploring now is what does it take to move from the condition that we're in and that we have been in into a condition of freedom again. Now, if it involves other people's permissions and agreements, then you're looking at that from the wrong frequency and the wrong point of view. The one that needs to be saved isn't the one that's in charge, The aspects of yourself that are transcendent, they're the one that embrace, and the one that doesn't know is the one that opens and receives the embrace. So we're taking actions, consistent with all frequencies and levels of consciousness that we move back and forth between. So if we want to explore new higher territory, then we have to kind of clean out the basement first. Or we get stretched in the middle too much. If there's a stairway to heaven, then that foot that you've got stuck in hell actually has to come to the next step, or you'll always be there in between, divine origin and a rather difficult experience in the present. That's how it's been for me. So now that we've discussed it, we tend to want to try and figure out how it is that we move through this, but you have to graduate from that. Because if the reality of you is you're the guy that's trying to figure it out, then you're proposing that the truth of you is the guy that doesn't know. And if you're proposing that the truth of you is the guy that doesn't know, but he's trying to figure it out and it seems like he's pretty close, then that's what you'll be. And that's not what you came here, is to be stuck in the middle of becoming something that's not quite identifiable as you. If you're going to transcend, if you're going to have cosmic consciousness, if you're going to explore the frontiers of the very best possibilities of consciousness, then you have to take care of what's in front of you, what your experience of the now is, before you can go to nirvana and Shangri-La. So let's take responsibility for our consciousness, for the level of consciousness that we are. And as happy as we are with ourselves, because we know that we excel in a lot of ways, we also know that we're the one that's suffering, which means, what do we really know at all? If we can't move from our suffering, then have we actually figured out anything? So let's assume that we haven't, because we're here as what we're here as, and yet we're dissatisfied with it. So we're looking to move. We're looking to move into a freer expression of ourselves, one that's more true than who we're being right now. And if that's the truth of us, then all we have to do is focus our consciousness there so that we can connect from here. If you're going to make a quantum leap, then now's the time. We're expecting to have what we've always been looking and waiting for. So don't give up on it now. If it's for you to have, then let's look at your taking it right now, owning it, being it. There's no reason to do anything else about it. Either you open up and move here freely or you don't, and it's your choice. So choose. Once you choose, you have to allow it to happen to you. You have to accept the change that moves in. To move from chronic pain into freedom is actually, that transition seems to be more difficult than the chronic, level of suffering. So with that then, what I'm suggesting, Misha, is that as much as I can, and as much as I ever have, I'm looking to you to take your place as a fully self-realized being here that is one and whole and complete, with nothing lacking, nothing apart, nothing separate. So I'd like to see that. I'd like to experience your experience of that. So here's to your choosing well. Because as you do, as you open, as you continue to experience and expand, who you are is coming back. Who you were, you can't hold on to anymore because it's just mists in the wind. So in order to awaken to a level of truth where you consider yourself having been set free, you have to be capable of granting that for yourself, which means that it's you as that saying, yeah, let's wake up, here's what we've been, and move back to the greater truth of who we are. So just consider that to have happened between you and reality. There's an agreement that now's the time for you to move back into expressing your higher self as the truth of who you are instead of who you've been here. Because you can make a story better, but if a story is just a story and isn't the reality of something magnificent, then, let's not make that the standard. The story isn't the standard. The standard is reality interacting with you in a state of pleasure, of celebration, of each one opening and growing and coming into a self-realization of how to move through here peacefully. Boy, it just hasn't been how it's been for me. But if you own it and confront it and you hold on to it, in a loving way, you're embracing it so that you know it completely. So you know the workings of what, you went unconscious to. And so we're controlled by. All you have to do is settle into noticing in each moment that you're less and less controlled by. Reality is believing it has to some way counter you or oppose you or compete with you. You know it doesn't, and it knows it doesn't. So take the next step up to where there isn't even any imagined conflict. What's that frequency? Where's consciousness at in that reality? And can we open into it? And if we can, then why shouldn't we? If it'll enable us to be here responsibly, that would be great. How are you feeling?
Getting there.
Okay, so notice that as you open into your willingness to experience my awakening, my realization, my wholeness, my completion, my universal connection.
All right.
As you notice that I'm opening into and experiencing and expressing myself as that, and you're just going, yeah, I know, me too. And you let it happen. More than I can, you could. Enough so that reality's a pleasure for you here. Where reality starts appreciating you and valuing you, wanting to have more of you than there is to share. So let that happen for you. Allow yourself to realize what shift in beingness it would take for your reality to shift enough that other people are kind of waiting in line to share a moment of your time with you. What kind of value do you have for them that would make you worthy of being treated that way? You would have to be what they needed and what they wanted and more than that. What they didn't know that they could return to being because they'd forgotten and lost their heart and their mind and barely knew which way is up. So each time you open and allow it to get better for you, from that new level of awareness, imagine the new better after this and receive that too. Keep moving up in your opening, in your expansion, in your willingness to experience. It should start getting light in our bodies,
Yeah, exactly.
If we're going to take that level of responsibility and that level of consciousness, then a bunch of confusions are going to be boiling off right now. A lot of things that were dear to our identities, but were stories and lies. We're both done holding on to those. Neither one of us want to. And so there they go. In flames. And the better it gets for me, the better I hope it's getting for you, and vice versa. It helps, to have somebody else that is willing to open, that you know is open for you to succeed, to move through your barriers and limitations and embrace and return to, cosmic level of consciousness. If that's right, if that's good, who's to say? Just take responsibility for as much as you have to for you to be as free as you want to, which would mean not under any kind of suppression, I would think. So keep opening up until you're enough for that to be the experience. If you open, how much do you have to encompass? How much do you have to open? How much do you have to be one with in order for the general reality to be in support of you? I have to open a lot. But guess what? I am more and more. Wow, that's what I've needed. I can't believe I've carried this level of pain and tension in my body for so many decades. Okay, now we're flowing a little bit inside. Everything's moving. Okay, so we're just going to watch that. We're not going to figure out how it can move more. We're just going to observe how it does. We're not trying to make it open more. We're just observing how it does. It wants to on its own. You don't have to be the cause of it. Everything wants for more. Everything wants for better. It's your job to let that happen for you and whoever you're having an experience with. So do that now. Yeah, you match each other, right? The more you match each other, and the more that you notice where there's another point of view that the other one had that you didn't quite understand, and now you get it. Now you see that too. You open more. You understand more. And as you understand more, your choice making and your decisions are just so much better. So relax more into your opening. Always be in the middle of the opening. You don't go hiding for it. You're the center of it. Be the center of your own opening. Mike is saying you should talk now. Mike Lino, not Michael Vedune. So, take over, Misha.
Wait. I haven't opened yet.
Okay. You're doing better.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot better. You're almost open enough to be free now. Why not take that last step? Yeah, good. Very good. You opened to the point necessary. You took the last step into the unknown where you found your freedom. By knowing the unknown, by experiencing the all as you. Then still being here. Now what do? Well, do what a know-it-all would do, Have fun here. Make things better. Make people laugh. Make people cry of joy. Make people grateful that healing and transcendent transformation is possible, to move from a true suffering like this. It's just exquisite. It's hard. It's red hot with pain. And it seems to be the structure of your reality. It seems to what gives it form. In what form would you be? How would your body be? What would it feel like to be you? If suffering weren't in control of who you were. The time for suffering, is fading away, even as we feel the last beautiful remnants of it within ourselves as they dissolve into their next whatever it's going to be that's even better. And that's what all consciousness wants. It wants to explore the infinite possibilities of being. So let yourself. Let it happen. Because you want to know from your life, beyond life, you always know, right? You always know. It's when you're here as a life, as a body, that's when you don't know. And That's the magic trick we're trying to pull off right now, is a creator consciousness awakening within awakening within your body. There. Oh, good. Okay. Now I'm much less worried about Russia. People might start dancing in the streets, if they get a glimpse of you embracing those infinitely beautiful possibilities for yourself, When you're done with the suffering and you open to the infinite possibilities of consciousness for yourself, then, you just let out that stuff that was lost, just be found, be redeemed, be reclaimed, be restored, or burned off, or thrown away, or whatever it is that means that you woke up again. Now you're not having to get somebody else to tell you what the story is here, what your story is, who you are, and what you're supposed to be here. So if that's no longer somebody else's job and that's fully your job, then what do you choose? Think about the possibilities. Look at how real the possibilities are. And if the possibilities are really right there and right now, all you have to do is say yes. And what are you going to say?
Yes.
Please, yes. Well, I hope this time, after our how many times? Certainly 1,000, more than 1,000. Let's do it. Let's completely open this time and stay open. Not shut it down as soon as the transformation starts happening. We're not here for a glimpse. We're here for the actual transformation. So if that's why we're here and that's what's available, then let's have that be what's happening, even though, somebody else might see you do it. I think if anybody truly awakened, I think everybody else would like it. So just because you've been asleep in a way where you don't feel like you have the permission to fully reawaken again, that you're forbidden from that, no, that's wrong. You're not. You're expected to be the one that climbs the mountain. You don't pussyfoot it around. You Sisyphus it until you push the rock over the top of the mountain. Finally, now, just now. And you did it. Finally. God bless you. No more sissy anymore, but the master of the mountain, the man of the minute, of the moment. Right? Yeah, why not? Why not you? Why not somebody that's thought about it every day of their lives? How they could open, how they could become more and better. Someone who's moved as best they can and as positively as they could in that direction for the entirety of your life. I just thought I'd put it out there and say, you know, good. Now wholeness for you and wholeness for all right now. And as you open into that, I'm able to choose that for myself. That's how it works. You encourage it in each other. You celebrate it when you feel the other person open. Thank God, yes, for him. Thank you. I just felt how much a greater being he is now. How much more he opened into. And how much more real he can be here now. So let's let that happen for us. Know that everybody who's focused here is in favor of you awakening, of you going free. So wake up and be free. It's as simple as that. Choose it. That's your mantra. Awaken and be free. Awaken and be free. Mike, you'll have to write that one down for me. I'll make a painting out of that. You know, we've held ourselves in such a frozen way. Just as tightly strung as we possibly could make it. Insecurity on every front. And that's where you wake up, right where you are. Not by figuring it out, by letting it happen. That which needs the transformation surrenders to it, doesn't direct it, surrenders to it. If you're what needs to experience a quantum leap, a transformative event, then you're the one that has to let it happen to you. Because that's not what you're experiencing of yourself. You know it's there, you know it's possible, you know it's offered, you know it's ready for you, and you're ready for it. But you have to go through the process of moving from something into something new. And so do that now. Move into the something new you. There's something new about you now. There's something new about you that nobody ever noticed before. There's something new about you, and it's nice. There's something new about you, and it's good. There's something new about you that makes things better. Makes everything better around you. Wow. That'd be quite a shift for me. But that's what you have to open into regardless of what you are before then, right? Doesn't matter what you are before, it only matters where you choose to open and how much. How much you're willing to receive and how much you're willing to embrace and how much you're willing to be embraced by. How much are you willing to allow the immensity of universal awareness? Have that move through the body of you into the body and mind of man. Allow yourself to be the experiential understanding of that reality as the experience of yourself, of your identity, of your ego. and experience that transformation from what you are into that very best possibility that you had for being here. Let's own that now. Let's have that be real for you and for me. I'm afraid to put this one on YouTube. This is a little bit too mystical. Oh, I guess it's already on YouTube. I think I meant Facebook. Wow, that's a tremendous new freedom, you know. But it does seem to be that which needs to be transmuted is almost infinite itself, it seems. But infinity embraces the almost infinite. You don't have to be expanding out as fast as you can to catch the almost infinite. All you have to do is be the infinite. Then you've already got it. Whatever step down there was from everything to being something particular, that's what happens. That's how you get to embody a life. But then at some point before you die, you should be able to awaken fully as an awareness of who you were when you, just prior to embodying here. As you were contemplating, okay, am I going to do it? Am I going to do this again? Or for the first time? Whatever it is, doesn't matter. But were you there choosing to do it? From a divine, from a cosmic, from a Buddha, from a Krishna. Level of consciousness. Well, ask the question, expand yourself out far enough so that you know the answer to that. Once you know the answer to that, it means that you expanded out to the infinite, because that's what you had to do in order to answer a finite question that was very expansive. But at that point, you're not that which needs to transform. You're that which is awakening within your body and your identity, and forever shifting that in a beautiful way into a deeper realization of your own divine truth. So what's true doesn't really matter. The only thing that matters is what you believe to be true. And so all of these things that you and I have been discussing tonight are all things that, it doesn't matter whether it's real or not. What mattered was it was impinging on you and affecting you and holding you back. So it doesn't matter what it is, when you find that, you embrace it infinitely. Until there's no part of it that can hide itself from you. Then you begin to know and understand and see. Then you can begin to reassess your own reality. So reassess and tell me what you think. You got a comment this time, Michael?
Well, we're flowing.
Okay.
Please continue.
Okay. whatever isn't flowing within the flow, the rocks in the stream, so to speak, the structure of that, what the water is flowing through. Be all of that gives a place for the water to flow through and on and over. At the same time, you're the flow as well. You're that which gives structure and movement to the flow, because without you, there would be no flow. Because water finds its level, right? But you're not level. You're the peak and the valley. You're the high and the low. You're the good and the bad. You're yin and yang, dancing the dance of life. Now, the question is, are you going to do that from a state of cosmic consciousness for all identified, layers of consciousness and identity that you have? Do that. Allow yourself to realize on every level that you're not supposed to. And have that be okay. There's not a fight about it anymore. Now everybody wants you to win. Everybody wants you to be free because they're experiencing greater freedom themselves. And they know that the more freedom we realize within ourselves, the more we have to have others free so that we can take the next step ourselves, because, if somebody's got their foot stuck in the cement and it went hard and it's one of our guys, we're going up that stairway of consciousness to the transcendent. And one of our guys got stuck. What do we do? Okay, I guess we put our consciousness where he's stuck and sit there until he notices that we're there with him, until he notices that we've confronted all of his darkness, until he notices that we're still okay with him despite the fact that we know everything, even if it's only through a feeling. We know the experience. And it's okay. The experience doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is that you wake up in it. So it can be as painful as all get out, but if you get to wake up there and the pain comes to an end, what's wrong with that? It feels like it's okay, doesn't it? Is it finally okay for you to awaken? I think it is. What do you think?
Well, it's been a long time.
Yeah, we had a lot of interesting experiences, 20 years ago, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
Well, whatever they were, they were. They're not the golden past. What's amazing is the experience of this moment where you're doing a final assessment and taking complete responsibility for all of it. And in doing that, you embraced every part of it. You knew every aspect of it because it was your creation. And as you remembered and as you knew every aspect, you're back as the creator again, not the creator trapped in the creation, but the creator awakened within creation with his creator toolbox fully intact. So your creator toolbox, might be time to open that up and see what reality has for you here. Because your toolbox is whatever reality gives you. Take it. Make it better. Wow. So many ways that you can trap yourself. It's unflippin' believable. It can take a lifetime to figure out just one of them. And what happens if you got dozens, hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands? Way more than you know you could ever deal with. Then what? Oh yeah, you're the one that thinks he needs to deal with it because he feels trapped. You're not the one that deals with it. You're the one that receives the answer and the transformation because you're the one that needs it. So let it happen. Let the answer come and let the transformation occur. Wow. There might be a point where I enjoy being me here. And that might happen soon. Now, if that could happen to me, because you know I'm the worst of them all, then what can happen for you? Someone who's truly an adept, right? Be adept at transformation. The realization of the transformation, not the conjuring of it, the realization, which means making it real in you as you, for all of us. You make it real in you so that is a gift to all of us. So your gift to all of us is for the divine to be real in you.
Could you transcend the social barriers?
Okay. All right. Now what?
I'm dealing with mine.
Yep, me too. Boy, did we make it difficult to go back, didn't we? Impossible. The intent was to make it impossible to ever go back. What kind of decision is that, man? What kind of maniac? Man, even Hitler didn't want that for everybody. Who would curse us to never, ever know freedom again? Okay, you still on? Just a second. I have to send a text. Hopefully stop the calls. Well, hold on. Let's repair. Well, I declined it. Okay, you asked me to transcend the social level. So the social level is where the level of fear is, and it's where the level of suppression is. It's where we get shut down by our own thoughts and ideas and our belief systems. And so if you let the social level go, you just go as a free consciousness. Wow. So it's not so visually interesting, but I got to tell you, if you're just letting it happen to you, it's hard to be social at the same time and talk coherently. When somebody's embracing their limitations intimately, and those limitations start to let go, it's hard to maintain stability in that, because there's so much change and unpredictable change. When you open and stay open. So let that be your mantra for a few moments. Open and stay open. Oh, that noise is coming through the speaker.
I'm typing the mantra.
Ah. Okay. Ah. So if you want to do a physical practice, an exercise of awakening in motion, then what you do is you stretch yourself in one way or another to the extreme, and then you hold it right there on the edge of what your ability is. You've reached the edge of where you can be in that direction from the structure of your body. But as you're sitting there in that experience, that things are dissolving and that the motion is going to increase, then you can't identify yourself as a guy who is limited before anymore, because now you've had a great increase. So who you are isn't who you used to be, isn't here anymore. You let those limitations go. You let that story go. And that's all it was a story. It wasn't the actuality of you. It was just an experience that you were having for what really, really looks like a bunch of bad decisions and reasons. There doesn't seem to be any great benefit to have had everybody come here unconscious and suffer. Well, doesn't that seem like a failure? It does to me. So make it your failure. because it's your experience, so it has to be your failure. Once you realize that it's your failure that is a reason why that this reality isn't a divine celebration. Now, that could be a very depressing thing to realize. But if it's true and then you realize it, then guess what? You don't have to be that anymore. That's the great thing about reality, is it's always in the continuous transformation. And so that part that you didn't like, that you're experiencing right now, you're experiencing it dissolving away so rapidly that you're just in a state of awe. Awesome. Amazing. Awesome, amazing. That's another good one. Yet still the body's suppressed. We have to move another direction, I guess. We have to confront another dark reality within ourselves, whatever it is. And we have to wake up there. Intentionally wake up in the tension. The intentional wake up. So go ahead. That's the road we're on. When you are you and I'm me and we're like this here, then that's what our option is, the intentional awakening. So it's a combination of a choice and an allowance. And then a matching of frequencies, a harmonic realization of, that which is able to embrace all of us. Whatever it is that can embrace all of you, that's what you should be best friends with. And that's reality, because reality does embrace all of you. So be best friends with it. More and more freedom, huh? Less and less pain, less and less sorrow, less and less trauma. That's okay. More of less, then. It's taken a lot more of less. Until we're so much less that we became one with it all. One with everything. You'd think that would be a painful realization, but it's not. It's what ends your pain. Because when you awaken, and as you are, in the reality that you are, the transition seems to be difficult, but it doesn't really matter. All that matters is that you're there transitioning. This is a time where you got the time to do it, you know. Let the real virus get you. The virus of wholeness and completion, oneness. A universal awareness and understanding. Wow, I think we got something here.
Yep.
Wow, this was, oh, wow. This was the trauma. Wow. This is the pain, the sorrow, the regret, the rage, the anger, the unconscious, all of that horribleness. Everything that happened that we didn't like. Here it is. You're loving the experience of it because you know it's your last one, your final. Okay, yeah, that was that, wasn't it? Good luck, you know. Whatever's identified of that dissolves away, just like whatever part of you used to be identified of that opened up and stayed open and let go of what you didn't know was true, so that you could actually experience truth instead. So is there such a thing as a truth that sets you free? Is there a reality where that truth, is common? Could that truth be common in our reality here? More important, can it be yours regularly, continually, in a causative, creative manner, a movement and expression of wow, a movement of wow. Because that was used to trap you as mostly gone. You're right in the middle of the rest of it, having its last say. It speaks its piece, and then it's on its way and gone. And so is all the effects that it had on us. Everything that it defined for us, everything that it identified for us about ourselves and each other, all of that's gone. It all goes away. There, now the pain of it's going. Wow. Yeah, it caught fire inside, didn't it? Caught fire. Well, that's the way to transform. You always knew that. You had to have a fire to transform. The fire's the center of you. I know it doesn't look much like I have one. But you know what? I do. And I'm enjoying it. So when you lose your identity, you have a raw opening. You can't remember who you are, who you've been. All the information's there, but you don't want to re-identify with it. You want it to continue to dissolve away. And so you let it. You let it all dissolve, all the story. The identity didn't matter. The identity wasn't you, it wasn't true. That's why it's okay to let it go. It's just a story. It's just a fabrication. It's not real. It's a fabrication. Fabrication is like a lie. It's temporary. It's not real. It has an effect and then it's gone. That's what lies are. They're temporary. They can't hold you forever. Sooner or later you know it. You notice. You realize it's a lie and you go, oh no. I fell for that one again, but not now. Not here. Not anymore.
I have a suggestion.
Okay.
Awakening to the soul frequency.
Awakening to the soul frequency. Okay. Okay, that's having some relief in the center of my body. How about you?
Same.
It's like a volcano of pains erupting out of us, freeing itself. Begin to get comfortable with that. Experience of being free from your pain. Experience of forgetting that you used to suffer. Because it wasn't really you. So let all that go. What can you open into right now? Universal harmony's here. How about resonating with that? How about all parts of you resonating with that? All aspects of Michael. David. Resonating with universal harmony. Every physical structure, every system, every cell, every molecule in motion. Moving in freedom now, moving in harmony, moving with a single-minded purpose to notice that we're awakened and realized now. Notice that in your experience of yourself. You are awakened now. And it's becoming a realization in your body. It's becoming the embodiment of realization. Self-realized truth. Not one that you created, but one that you noticed. And it's in the noticing where creation occurs. Because that's when you shift. Yeah, just let it all of it dissolve. In your willing embrace of it. Your willing experience of yourself as that. That's what dissolves it. Your willingness to experience yourself as you are. And you can't be it anymore. Once you finally got to the point where you could enjoy being you, you can't anymore because you're something better. I didn't expect it to be this energetic tonight. It's requiring a lot of quiet time in order to allow the movements to occur, to be focused on experiencing them intimately enough so that they can move through. Because if you don't get it all, then it all isn't gone. But you're close, man, you're close. I think you're going to do it, actually, myself. I don't have any more wonder about it. About you. I'm letting go of the belief that I had that you would never be free. Knowing that was a bit of an unfair thing to put on you. So just because you're put on, don't be put out. Be ready to open, even without getting an apology for participating with you in a facade. You don't get to blame anyone on your way to freedom. Well, that's another good one. You don't get to blame anyone on your way to freedom. Mike, type that out for me.
Mm-hmm.
There it is. I don't think the other Mike's here. Did you listen to my last session?
Yes.
Did you enjoy it?
Mm-hmm.
So these things, those little sayings or the koans or the poems are what I'm going to be painting as my word paintings.
Mm-hmm.
And I got so inspired about it last night that I can be excited to live the rest of my life, creating instead of marketing or promoting, something else, I get to do my creation this time. And what could be better than that? And the same for you. You finally get to do your creation. You get to be cause over your reality. Actually. You direct it. There's nothing wrong with that, because as you awaken, you choose better for yourself. And that's always away from conflict and control of others. So you're not out trying to hurt anyone anymore, if you ever were. It's not an issue for you to be afraid of for yourself. So you can let go and be free, knowing that it'll be good for you. It'll be good for me too. So open and be free. Don't hold back like me. Don't drag it out for so long. Just say, okay, I get it. I understand. All right. Yes, me too. I'm free. Then let it happen. Me too. I'm free. That simple? That's simple, yes. If you let it happen, it's that simple. That's the trick, letting it happen. But you're doing good. Let it happen more. Way more. Well, that feels better. I still don't like being me, but it feels better. Yes, I can see the chart or the chat. Mm-hmm. So as you can experience it and stay in the middle of the opening, and you'll experience a very quick transformation. So once it starts happening, once you start flowing, once you start feeling what it is to be free, don't think about it. Just keep in that choice of opening, being continually in that space of transformation. No need to evaluate it. You're just flying free until there's nothing else that's holding you back. You allow yourself to get as real as you have to be here, with every place that you've been in hiding. It's going to take a much bigger dose of you there. And that's okay. That's why we're here together, helping each other. Because we can. So if it makes it easier for you to open, notice that I'm cheering you on. And I'm enjoying your transformation just like you are. I don't think that's a bad thing, to share the joy of somebody else's transformation and allow it to enhance your own. I don't think that's taking something away. That's acknowledging what it is and opening for the same thing, completely different. Well, this one's a lot more of the experiencing and a lot less of the talking, because once you're oriented, how much has to be said and how much has to be allowed. If you're forever saying, if I'm forever saying, and I'm not being quiet in an experience with you, where you're unfolding, and when you're spreading your wings and opening your heart and soaring, if I'm not having that experience with you, then what am I doing that's so important that I can't be there for that? When that happens for somebody I could experience that with. Because those that you can experience with, that's your reality. Those that are true to themselves, or those that you're true to yourself, because you're true to yourself. So that's it. Be true to yourself. Be true to your reality. Be true to your own self-realization. Be true to your understanding. Be true to your own wisdom. Then you'll be free here, because you won't be taking direction from anybody that is here that doesn't know. You don't take direction from people that don't know. It's a mistake. Just because someone says they know doesn't mean it knows. If it's obvious from your experience of them that they're completely shut down. The experience of opening is really obvious. Just feel it yourself. Open and notice that an opening in somebody else is something that's easy to feel. Easy to harmonize with. And increases your own understanding. Refines your experience here. So another layer, another level, another release, it seems. Find a way to be free despite your reality, despite other people impinging on your consciousness, despite the fact that reality around you is moving and making noises. Be free anyway. Be free in the middle of chaos. Be free in the middle of suppression. Be free in the middle of political correctness. If the transformation begins for you, if things start to burn away, doesn't matter what attracts your attention away from that. Keep your primary attention there, on your opening and on your experiencing the surrender into the unknown. Okay, Misha, go ahead and take some time and explain things to anybody that might listen.
What should I explain? I'm speechless here.
Oh, you're speechless?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The energy is flowing.
Sure is. Yeah, all the pipes are open, aren't they?
Yep.
Well, I guess you followed what I said then. Thanks for doing that. Okay. Well, I think we're pretty good. You know,
Yep.
you go lay down. I know it's 2:30 in the morning for you, or later.
Mm-hmm.
So
3:30.
3:30.
Thank you, David.
Well, let it continue. Focus your noticing after the call on a continue on the continuation, the further dissolving and opening into that freedom that you're experiencing. That flow. Okay, good. Nice to chat with you again, even though you didn't say much. That's unlike.
I was responding with my energy.
Ah, yes, you were. No, and that was right too, and that was what I needed. So thanks.
Okay.
Talk to you later.
Till next time.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye. God damn it. Oh, I'm still recording. Sorry about that. Bear with me a second. The wind chimes are moving outside. There's quite a wind. Okay. Rather than call somebody, I'm just going to talk to whoever may see this. So what we just did was Misha and I went back and forth energetically, encouraging ourselves and each other to open and to continually open and stay in the middle of that, and experiencing the elimination of everything that we thought was wrong with our lives. You know, everything that felt bad inside us. You know, it's dissipating. It's a beautiful thing. Sorry about this. If we edit this, we'll edit this out so that, you know, not too many people have to suffer through it. Hey, Mom?
What?
I'm recording a video, so
Okay.
thanks. Pretty lucky to be able to set up at my mom and dad's, you know, living 10 years longer than they were supposed to. I needed them to, and more, you know, to see that I didn't turn out as bad as they had feared I would, or that they knew that I would. You know, there is a way to move from limitation into freedom, even if you've completely trapped yourself. I guess we'll end it at that. Thanks.